Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mr. Chairperson, President of IFAD, Gilbert Fashion Huingbo, governors, representatives of different international organizations, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, ya rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and very good morning to you all. It is indeed a great pleasure for me to be here at the 41st session of IFAD Governing Council. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks for inviting me as keynote speaker. Bangladesh, from its early history, has been known as a fertile land where all agricultural products grow easily. But that reputation was mere time and again for a long period till the late 1990s. At the time of its emergence as an independent country in 1971, Bangladesh faced serious food shortage as the production of food grains for a population of 75 million was only 11 million tons. Soon after independence, father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, had laid utmost importance on increasing agricultural production, and he called for green revolution on increasing agricultural production and green revolution in the country. To boost production, he took some pragmatic measures, including land reforms, land tax waiver, establishment of research bodies, installation of irrigation pumps, and distribution of agri-inputs at free of cost. And the country started increasing their food production. But it's very unfortunate that in 1975, my father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, was assassinated along with my entire family except my younger sister and myself. We were in abroad, so we survived. But after his assassination, the military dictators took over power. And, well, the agriculture sector has been subject to negligence by these subsequent military rulers, resulting in acute food shortage. Every year for a decade and a half, it had to assemble development partners for at least 4 times a year to meet its food needs. Ladies and gentlemen, since its inception, IFAD has invested in 31 projects in Bangladesh, and another 5 projects are in the pipeline. The total loan and grant for all 31 projects amounts to US dollar about 680 million. Currently, IFAD is focusing on the adoption of rural livelihoods to climate change and the scaling up of successful approaches. According to World Economic Forum report, the world's population is projected to surpass 9 billion by 2050, and half of it will belong to the middle class. There will be a huge strain on declining global arable land, forests, and water. Rising sea level will heavily reduce arable land in many countries, and we will be its victim again without contributing to sea level rise at all. Global food demand in 2050 would increase by at least 60% over 2006 levels, and food prices are likely to increase by at least 84%. Now, how do we respond to such a combination of adverse developments? I shall tell you the story of agricultural growth of my country, pointing out the lessons which can be adapted or more appropriately adapted to other countries for human development on a global scale. We do not want to face another 1981 when we discovered that neglect of agricultural growth was most unfortunate for mankind. Because food is necessary, everybody needs food. And because population is increasing, so we have to increase our food production. Well, first of all, let me tell you that the natural resilience of Bangladeshi people to any crisis did not allow the build-up of a food crisis in a year of climate vagaries and reduced food production in the country. The resolve of Bangladeshis to tighten the belt and counter difficulties with confidence and seek alternative ways to meeting the crisis enable us to overcome and succeed. Bangladesh has about a decade of self-sufficiency in food, and then this year there was an unexpected shortfall due to untimely and recurrent flooding. Some adjustment in imports policy immediately made food readily available to the consumers. In my country, you may please note that we have increased our food production from 11 million tons in 1971 to 39 million tons in 2017, although 1/3 of arable land has been lost in the meantime. From 2008, it has been an increase of 9 million tons. This was possible as we reached agri-inputs to the farmers with heavily subsidized prices, and soft and collateral-free loans were made available to the landless farmers. We used all options that ICT could offer us to overcome the crisis. At present, ICT is helping us to accelerate the efficiency and precision of research, particularly on issues related to climate change. New mapping techniques using remotely sensed data and GIS have helped us to assess vulnerability of climate change, devise more efficient water capturing methods, locate areas with water harvesting potential, and develop suitability maps for newly developed crop varieties. As a result, we are now self-sufficient in food and agriculture with some additional capacity for export as well. Mr. Chair, after the adaptation of 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda, we align our march for development with our 7th five-year plan based on spirit of leaving no one behind. Our targets for the future remain the same, and they will be incorporated in the subsequent five-year plans. The first target is to eliminate poverty. The second one is to eliminate hunger. And the third one is to make nutritious food available to all. The challenge of leaving no one behind is most significant in rural areas. About 72% of our population live in rural areas and 43% are engaged as labor in agriculture sector that contributes 15% to the country's GDP. The rural non-farm sector accounts for 40% of rural employment but earns more than 50% of rural income. Hence, inclusive and sustainable rural transformation is key to reaching the goals of poverty elimination, hunger elimination, and leaving no one behind. Sustainability cannot be achieved without creating long-term resilience. A comprehensive, sustainable rural economy requires investment in the development of rural social fabric and climate resilience. Bangladesh, a country of over 160 million people, is the most densely populated country in the world. It is poised to achieve the SDG goals well ahead of 2030. It estimates that poverty will be eradicated altogether by 2024 and that of hunger by 2041. But it also faces other formidable challenges. It is like to lose 40% of its productive land by 2080 if sea level rise 65 centimeters only. In addition, changes in crop production due to the impact of climate change will increase the number of people living in poverty. Therefore, significant resources must be tapped in order to ensure better adapted and resilient agricultural practices. The government's 7th five-year plan, therefore, places emphasis on the sustainable use of resources and investment in agricultural research to develop high-yield crop varieties resistant to salinity, flooding, drought, and cold. The 7th five-year plan also focuses on issues related to development of rural areas of Bangladesh and identification of priority areas, such as increasing local production, solving energy problems, reducing poverty through undertaking programs on agriculture, employment generation, and rural infrastructure. The rural institutions will be strengthened to support the ongoing rural transformation, including support for non-farm job creation, rural mobility, and rural finances. Due to policies friendly to fisheries, a total fish production reached up to 41.34 lakh MT in fiscal year 2016 to 2017. This has contributed to self-sufficiency in fish production. Our national fish Hilsha has received geographical identification certificate. We are 4th largest producer of sweet water or freshwater fish in the world. We also have a food feeding program for the poor and vulnerable population. In 2017, 5 million families received 30 kg rice for 5 months at a highly reduced price. Under the food-based Social Security Safety Net program, about $750 million has been allocated. We have also allocated $76.5 million for rice sale in open market for low-income families. Our government launched One House, One Farm project in 2010 10 to 11 financial year to alleviate poverty through agro livelihood and family farming. In this project, I want to mention that we want to assist our poor people, poor family. We discuss with them what type of work they want to do. Then we provide them money and also training. And it is almost a forced savings program. If any family, they can save, I say about $1, then government will pay another $1. It means that family will get another, $2 for savings. For 2 years, government will continue to that. And after that, that money will be there and they can use it for their business. And we have established a bank, a special bank for that, that they can put their money over there so that they can independently use that money for their business. That way, they can stand by themselves. They don't need to beg for anybody, and they have to pay the interest yearly, not weekly, so that they can become solvent. That way, we have introduced this special project, and it is really helping us to reduce poverty level. And also the people, they have some kind of mental satisfaction, and also they feel that, yes, they can do something for themselves. That is helping their work and also their trust upon them. Not to stretch their hand for begging, but it is their own money, own project they are working. So some kind of satisfaction, self-satisfaction we can establish. Under the project, 17,300 village development organizations have been formed, incorporating over 1 million beneficiaries. They have set up nearly 700,000 small farms with an investment of US $115.3 million. We have also successfully tried to tackle the problem of nutrition and undernourished portion of Bangladesh's population declined from 33.2% in 1992 to 16.4% in 2016. Poverty has been reduced to about 22% now from about 41.5% during 2015 to 2005 to 2006. Various government initiatives have played a role in this improvement. Mr. Chair, we believe that in order to ensure resilience, investment in rural economy is a key factor. This, we believe, cannot be achieved without global partnership and cooperation. The development partners have to be a little more generous in order to eliminate poverty and hunger. The world appears to me to be ready now for it. I would like to urge you to investing in sustainable rural economies. By way of telling the story of my country, I have tried to plead for from fragility to long-term resilience by investing in sustainable rural economies. My country, Bangladesh, has been very lucky with stable governance for almost a decade. We formulated our strategy of socio-economic growth very carefully over a period of about 4 years, and then we tried to implement it in the last 9 years. We made adjustments as needed and as demanded by circumstances very carefully. Fortunately, the development partners came forward with eager and generous hands, and jointly we made proud progress. We hope and pray that in continuing such a partnership, IFAD will play an important role. IFAD's model of mutual help and partnership is very different from that of other UN agencies and organizations. And we sincerely believe that this ideal model will work in the promising future that is before mankind now. We have a target that within 2021, we will develop Bangladesh as a middle-income country because we will celebrate our golden jubilee of our independence. And 2041, Bangladesh will be a developed country in South Asia. That target we have to achieve, and we need your cooperation and help. I thank you all. Thank you very much for inviting me, and it is a great pleasure for me to talk with you. Thank you. Khuda Hafiz.